Ways to price your product or service. Pricing is a critical factor in the success of any business. Setting the right price for your product or service can help you attract customers, increase sales, and generate profits. In this article, we will explore some ways that businesses can effectively price their products or services. Understand your costs. The first step in pricing your product or service is to understand your costs. This includes not only the direct costs of producing the product or delivering the service, but also indirect costs such as overhead and marketing expenses. By understanding your costs, you can ensure that you are pricing your product or service in a way that covers your expenses and generates a profit. To calculate your costs, you can use a cost accounting system. This involves identifying all the direct and indirect costs associated with producing your product or delivering your service. Once you have calculated your costs, you can use this information to determine the minimum price you need to charge to cover your expenses and generate a profit. Conduct market research. Another important factor in pricing your product or service is to conduct market research. This involves analyzing the prices of similar products or services in the market. By understanding what your competitors are charging, you can ensure that you are pricing your product or service competitively. Market research can also help you identify the value that your product or service provides to customers. This value can be based on factors such as quality, convenience, or uniqueness. By understanding the value that your product or service provides, you can price it accordingly to reflect its worth. To conduct market research, you can use a variety of methods such as surveys, focus groups, or online research. This will help you understand what customers are willing to pay for your product or service and what factors influence their purchasing decisions. Consider your target market. Another important factor in pricing your product or service is to consider your target market. Different customer segments may have different price sensitivities and preferences. By understanding your target market, you can tailor your pricing strategy to meet their needs. For example, if your target market is price sensitive, you may need to price your product or service lower than your competitors to attract their business. On the other hand, if your target market is focused on quality or uniqueness, you may be able to charge a premium price for your product or service. Use pricing strategies. There are a variety of pricing strategies that businesses can use to set their prices. Some common strategies include cost-plus pricing. This involves adding a markup to your cost to determine the selling price. For example, if your costs are $10 and you want to achieve a 20% markup, you would price your product at $12. Value-based pricing. This involves setting your prices based on the value that your product or service provides to customers. For example, if your product saves customers time or money, you may be able to charge a higher price to reflect its value. Penetration pricing. This involves setting a low price initially to attract customers and gain market share. Once you have established your brand and customer base, you can gradually increase your prices. Skimming pricing. This involves setting a high price initially to capture early adopters or customers who are willing to pay a premium